So what is your basically how are you planning to promote the Breakthrough Party in a way to get the message out without using those traditional avenues?
Don't get me wrong, like it's going to be challenging. Like, of course it is. Like, because even though, as you say, like these, like a lot of them have died a death, like they're still for a lot of people, like especially like for older people, like these are still the way a lot of people consume news. Like when we talk about broadcast television or through newspapers and whatnot, but like online perhaps. But like when we talk about like who we're going to reach as a party, like when we talk about young people, like it has to be social media. Like that's got to play a massive part in what we're doing. Like we're very active on our social media operation, as it were, like through Twitter especially. But like we're looking to get more on YouTube and TikTok as well. And like these are very political spaces that I don't think have been anywhere near enough used by mainstream political parties. And that for us is like massive. Like we've seen in like these first 6 months of operating, like we've gone from not being known at all to being like when people are talking about left wing politics in this country, like they're mentioning us and they're kind of going like these guys could be the solution or part of the solution at the very least. To go from that, from zero to that in 6 months shows the power of social media. Of course, it's not everything. Like I work in social media, so I understand its limitations as well. But like, I think social media for us is going to be massive. But also, like as well, like I think there's a lot of good outlets out there that are like more independent that we obviously want to work with and very keen to work with as well. And I think it's about how can we I hate obviously always got talking about left and right, but like how can we promote independent media organisations on the left and make more of a noise there? That for me is going to be really important, and I think we have to utilise that as well and work together. Like when we talk about the left as a whole thing, it's like not just political parties, it's movements, it's pressure groups, it's organisations like media organisations. How can we all work together to, you know, offer a real alternative in this country? And like I think us just sort of siloing ourselves as this one party or this movement doing whatever they're doing, like we need to come together. And how can we come together and bring like a real alternative to the table?
Hmm. When you say social media is being underutilized by big political parties, what do you mean? Because like my entire first book was literally written about how social media is being exploited by people. That's that like that statement seems
Yeah,
like
like because when you talk about
curious, but I
Facebook,
get the
because
feeling
like
you don't
obviously we
quite mean
know
what I was
how
writing about.
powerful
But yeah,
Facebook was, like in terms of like advertising, like Facebook, like political advertising, that was massive. I think what I meant was more about YouTube and TikTok. I don't think they've been anywhere near utilised enough by political parties. It's why we're sort of looking like we're being before we jump into it, we're being really careful and like actually really figuring out what we will do as a party that will appeal to people. And like when we talk about how young people consume news, YouTube is one of the highest, if not the highest, thing that they use to like find their news or social media. So we need to make sure that we've got a really good presence across all social media platforms. And yeah, so what I meant really was more TikTok and YouTube. I think you're absolutely right about Facebook. Like Facebook, we've seen the power of Facebook in the last in the in the Brexit in the referendum campaign and in 17 and 19 as well. It's more about like organic content that we can sort of put out across all social media platforms and also utilize, as I said, those younger platforms as well. Not
how are
really.
you
Like,
planning
I've
to
not
use
seen anything
TikTok?
that's
Are
made
you
me
concerned
super
about
concerned
The
as
Chinese?
I haven't.
I mean, it's one of the most. It's like one of the most intrusive
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
platforms in terms of scraping
Yeah,
every
of
tiny
course. Like, there's
ounce of
always
data
going to
that
be
it
these
can.
concerns, and like
So
obviously,
that's
like as a party, we haven't developed policy on like the data side of things. It's something we obviously want to look into, but for now, and like when we talk about like how we can increase the reach of our party and get our message out there, I think TikTok is a very good platform for that. Again, like we've got people like younger people in the party than me. Like I'm 30 and I already feel well out of the loop when it comes to stuff like TikTok. But like we've got much younger people in the party who are much more, much more active users of TikTok and understand it a lot more. And like we're sort of developing a strategy at the moment of how we can actually use TikTok as a party. Like there's a few MPs that use it. I know Zara Sultana is the big example. She's very good on Instagram and on TikTok. And we need to figure out how as a party, we need to figure out how we can utilize it as well.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the podcast. Don't forget our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, can both be found in the links in the description below. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's the best way to help us grow. Until next time, thanks for listening. Screw the hedge funds.
You can make as many rules as you want, but if there's no teeth behind them, what's the point?
Well, like Citadel is potentially just gone in a few months. It feels like financial institutions, that they are all laughing at us by buying GME. Screw the hedge funds. Like, I will lose my entire investment if it brings them down.
Why on earth, last May, could you buy the entire company for $200 million?
What's been happening on Reddit and in social media and in the marketplace has never been seen before.
I argue that nothing is off the table. There is nothing off the table when dealing with the volumes of money in something as big as the United States stock market.
The hedge funds have clearly underestimated a group of people raised on Friday night World of Warcraft raids.
Dark pools, they're another mechanism to manipulate and cheat. Mainstream journalists don't say these things for a number of reasons. One is their sources are the people that I'm talking about, and so they can't call somebody a crook.
Superstonk and the other communities that have emerged are a hive mind, the likes of which we have never seen before. It's madness and brilliance, insanity and genius all rolled into one. It's very possible that Citadel will be gone in a few months. And not just Citadel, but the entire financial system has the potential to come crashing down. These crooks continue to gamble recklessly with the world economy, and this could be the moment that they finally get their justice.